Alrighty, welcome to another London session live stream, and let's take a look at the charts right away here. So we had two great days, trading GJ the last, past 2 days. So that's Tuesday and Wednesday, and they went on for TP3 and TP4 hits even. I mean, GJ went beyond. You can imagine here another extra. What was this? Falling into another range here. There's another 70, 80 pips here. Wow. So amazing movements, with GJ. And again, even with this setup, I did mention that I wasn't looking for the reversals here. I was more confident in the buys because of the buying pressure here. They came literally almost right back at this point here. So GJ after that had fallen back in this range, late, mid to late New York session, and kind of settled here. And let's take a look on a higher time frame, and you guys will be able to see what I'm talking about here. So you can see on the 30 minute, on the 1 minute, this range is being pretty respected here on the 1 hour, and then the 2 hour here. And you can see now everything fits right within this range here. So perfect range here, tradable range here. Again, you just have to know even the 4 hours lining up very smoothly here. So you can see now that, let me just see here. Yeah, you can see here that there's EMAs, higher time frame EMAs above. So very likely for the price to go above. Now, is it, stuck in this smaller range first? That's what we have to identify. And if it is, will it push right back down? So I wouldn't be confident in this trading, where the price is right now, even though there's an EMA tab below, but it's kind of stuck in the 1 hour. Could push back down. Remember, this is a larger range that we're looking at here. So what is this? About 70, you can even say 75, 76 pips. So rather large range, and I don't want to be stopped out, with GJ pushing down if we're looking for buys here. So I'm looking for aggressive, push, retracement here on GJ, a pullback here, potentially up to down here, and then it would most likely make it tradable for me to, execute. So we're looking at another maybe drop of what, 25, 26 pips. Let's see. There's EMA tabs below. So yes, there is. There's a 5 minute. It's, passing the 15 minute right now and the 30 minute. The 1 hour it just, tapped and rejected here. Again, we still have about 24 minutes left to London opening. But could we get a stronger push here to the downside, or this resists that and continues up? So, but you can see the touches here are pretty even on both ends of the range. So 1 and 1, 2 and 2, right? And then you can have some retracement, and then the third touch can go all the way up here. You can see on the higher time frame the 2 hour, and then even by the time price maybe reaches back here, the 4 hour can be tapped as well. See the daily went above there as well. Okay. Now, as far as looking at this daily, we can also realize here that this can come back and all the way down here and maybe create a wick before it pushes back up, right? So we have to now identify, has it broken out of this and continuing up, or will it push all the way down, right? So that's what we have to set our buy stops, right? Which again, I'm looking for trading within this range. Is this range still valid, right? So if price reaches down here to the bottom end of the range, I'll look for it to push past and maybe set buy stops if it reaches down here. If not, it's going to continue all the way up, but I'm not looking for that setup, or I'm not looking to enter right now. And secondly, if we extend this here, and we can extend this one, you could see now on the larger end of things, we got the 1-to-1, we got the second touch, and again, if GJ on the daily, you can see that it comes all the way down and fills this area up, could push down, and then we could see fall back in the range and move back up here, right? Which would be the 1 to 1, 2 to 2, and then the second to third touch here, right? But not looking that far right now. Looking to just trade this setup right now. And I'm just going to push this back here as well. But again, these are tradable ranges that we did capture, even before this big drop here. And so we did capture these setups in the previous couple of days, right? And still tracking the current range. So that's what I see from GJ right now. As far as a setup right now, I'm still skeptical about that because we need a push down. I would like it, for it to push kind of to the bottom end of this, drawn out range right here. So this area right here, maybe wiggle a little bit here, and then consider the buy stops to the ride up. Again, this is a large range, 75 plus pip range here. So we can expect a lot of TP hits again, but need some confirmation. So we may not get that move, right? We may get, GD to push up all the way up here, but are we going to get it before London opening, or are we going to get it with some higher impact news coming up? So let's take a look at that, right? Let's take a look at some high impact news here, if there is any for London session today. So we see medium impact for GDP is the construction PMI. So we're going to have to see if that's going to affect GJ in any way, right? But other than that, everything is low impact until New York session and New York opening. At 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, we have the unemployment claims. And of course, we have NFP tomorrow, right? So we have the US CAD unemployment rate and the USD unemployment rate tomorrow, along with the NFP. So yeah, tomorrow is going to be a volatile session, at least for New York. But it could, we could get some early volume pickup and volatility in London session tomorrow. So we'll see how we trade that. But today, again, for London session, we only have the 4:30 a.m. Eastern time, so just under 2 hours from now, the medium impact GDP news. So we'll see how that may affect GJ overall. But again, currently, right now, we're looking for this range on GJ. Beautiful range yesterday here. And prior to that, beautiful range right here. Capture those setups. Again, these are not 1 to 1. These are 1 to 3 or 1 to 4 setups here that we captured last 2 days on GJ. And again, we're looking at this right now. The 1 to 1, second touch to second touch, the third touch to the top end here. But we need to see a little rejection here so we can capture a better entry here before, GJ pushes back up here. So that's what the weight is for right now. I did tap the 1 hour on top here, and we're looking for GJ to push down, right? I'm looking for GJ to maybe be sucked into this range potentially. It's what, 27, 28, maybe under 30 pip range here. So if that pushes down all the way here, right? So from where the price is right now, another 30 pips down before I can consider setting buy stops here, right? And then also seeing if this range is, again, it's not really a range on the lower time frame, right? You can see this just creating higher highs, higher lows. And it's rejecting the 50-minute EMA, is also the 5-minute, very close to that, 30-minute as well, where the price is right now. And then we got the 1 hour tap here, which did reject, and looking to see if price can push down here. So yes, do we have a trade today? So yeah, that's what we're looking at, a potential buy setup here on GJ. Again, looking for price to reach down here, float in this area before we set some buy stops for the push up here, right? So again, this is a larger range, so it's going to be definitely maybe 3 or 4 TP again, right? So it could be another 3 or 4 TP buy stop here, which would give us enough room to close out the full range here. It's near a 75 plus pip range. But I did mention that if we're looking at the larger end of things on the daily, we could get this full push down as well, all the way down, price to exhaust all the way down here. So that's why we're going to have a larger breathing room before we consider the buy stops here. So before we consider buy stops, if price reaches here, I'm going to look for a price to move, past this lowest wick or around this area before I can consider buy stops. Right, so we have to be careful because it could push all the way down as we've seen on the daily candle, which it can come and fill the previous wick or reach that area. So first thing is we need the price to push down to the bottom end of this range. And secondly is we need a price to float down slightly below so we can confirm that indeed, buy stop entries would be valid. So we can go ahead and get the buys, right? So I'm not going to, enter here early, and neither am I going to enter sell stops here to probably try to get the sells here to the bottom end, because this can again push all the way up, right? And because of that uncertainty and London opening approaching, I am going to just be patient here. But you can see on the 2 hour and the 4 hour how nice of a range this is, how nice of a range the earlier setups were as well. Nice range here, and beautiful range here. So everything's in line. We just need to make sure. All right, here comes a new 15-minute candle. We just need to make sure now if we can get a full push down here, right? That'll be great, because if we get capture another 3-4 TP setup here to potentially end off the trading week, right? Because if I don't want to trade tomorrow because of having just amazing Tuesday, Monday started sluggish, but Tuesday and Wednesday were just amazing overall, right? Wins in USD CAD and GJ, multiple TP hits. And if we capture another setup like this, if we capture this full range, I might not consider trading on a Friday, right? To avoid NFP and pre-NFP volatility, and capture this 3 TP. So, pretty much being up 7-8% just because of just amazing setups, right? That the market formed. And so we're looking at another setup right now. If this does come down, I believe this pushes down here and it does, not fully go all the way down here, comes back up. This could be a clean range completion trade here, which I'm really vouching for here. If we get maybe London opening to push it down, and then the reversal to happen. Otherwise, we can also anticipate, as I mentioned earlier in the stream, that if we extend this full range out and the bottom end here, you could see that this range plays also in effect as well, which wouldn't be tradable until you reach down here, but you could see that the full push down here and below here, at that point I would look for this, this set of buy stop here to look for the full push up. But this is a larger range, which again will take maybe days or even a single day. But again, it could happen, during NFP or pre-NFP for Friday, or it can move on, to Monday and then complete the move, right? So let's see. If it drops down here, we can consider the buy stops over here. If it just, if we feel that the range is still on the larger or the smaller side of things, right? So if there's just this range right here that's in play, that it actually is in play currently. If this is the range right here, it's the 1 to 1, 2 to 2. If we're looking at this range, then I'm looking for, buy stop somewhere around here, but need the price to push down past here. So we can wait for a wick to come back here, enter the buy stops, or have the buy stops entered when the price reaches down here, so we can get a smooth sailing push up to the EMA taps here, the 2 hour and then the 4 hour here, and complete this full range, right, before New York opening or New York session. So let's see. And we are about 12 minutes shy of London opening, so we're going to have to see how price moves and where it gets to by the few minutes prior to London opening to see if we can actually consider such a setup. All right, so still around the 50-minute EMA, possibly rejecting or possibly not. Again, we can also see this potential setup here, where the top end is the 1 hour EMA, and we could see that price could reject here. Price could reject here and push back down, right? So this is still a range information. We could get the double touch here, the bottom end here, so 2 touches here, maybe swing a little down here to set the buy stop for this push above here, and maybe hold on for TP2, TP3 hits all the way up to here. So a lot of plays in mind here. We just need to make sure that they're valid, and so we set the buy stops accordingly, right? If this range is in play, right? So if this range is in play, then I can definitely consider the buys and holding on to the buys pretty much once price reaches here, and to the have the buy stops entered around this zone for the push up here. If I want to continue up and hold on to TP2, TP3, and beyond, I hold on like that. So still working in line with our game plan. We just need a little movement from GJ here. So I'm gonna get the text ready just in case. So this is just an idea right now. So GJ buy stops would be around the 180. Shall we say 180, 380? And again, I might adjust that once the price comes down to that area. But 180, 380. Alrighty, so just 8 minutes shy of London opening. We might get some, pre-London opening volume here to kick in, as we did a couple of the, past 2 days. So let's see if that works in our favor. But what I want to, if the price does reach down there, would I want to enter that setup right before London opening? I'm not too sure. So I don't mind GJ moving slower, but bearish. And by the time we get the London opening volume kicking in, we could see that a setup is ready to be entered, right? Let's see. Alrighty. Okay. So we're getting a slight push here. It is tapping the 5-minute EMA right now. But slowly but surely, price is coming down there. We'll take a look at USD CAD as well quickly. So these were the setups, in the previous couple of days. So very nice movement from both pairs. Very in line with everything. There was this setup as well, which again occurred in the pre London session. So this is not a setup. Sorry, in the late New York session. So this is not a setup that was shown during the live stream. It actually developed during New York session. But yes, very nice capture here as well. And again, this is just to show you guys that the range does work, and it is very, very common. You can see over the last several days, we've been able to catch moves every single kind of session here, right? And GJ especially, I mean, it's just been amazing the amount of ranging that's been going on with GJ. And so it's another effort to show you guys that this strategy is here to stay, and it's a very common strategy, and you can capture even TP3, TP4 hits in a given session, right? If you line everything correctly, if you understand the size of the ranges, how to define them, how to use them to define your stops and adjust your stops, your trade management along the way. So everything, all the components are shown within within the strategy that I have and the game plan, and how to appropriately adjust your buy stops and sell stops, right? Your limit orders. And we rarely do instant executions. So one is the strategy itself, the range, the tradable ranges, number one. Then the second game plan is the risk and the trade management aspect, right? How to enter, how to execute, and when to exit, and how to define your exits and stops. So all of that is what I share in the range ideology. And we are growing day by day. And again, I will be launching the members group, right? So that's all the course members. Sometime later this month. Just having a decent size of the community is great, I believe, and we're growing day by day. So excited to see many of you there as well. And I have a personal goal which I haven't fully defined, but I have mentioned a few times, is that I want to get at least 100 people, right, 100 members, to get to the 50K mark within 6 months, right? And that's through guidance, that's through support, that's through community building, development as a community, in terms of your trading, by sharing, by integrating, interacting. So yeah, a lot of those components, and I hope to even grow the live streams to a larger level by the end of this month as well. Again, we only started live streaming on YouTube just a month ago, so September was pretty much the first full month. And so let's see how we grow. And so that's the plan, right? Within a 6 to 8 month period, to get all the course members, all the members that believe in the strategy, to get to a level where you not only achieve that target of 50K, whether that's accumulation of payouts from prop firms or withdrawals from your broker, all of that. And so that's that. But at the end of the 6 to 8 month period, again, through a lot of guidance, mentorship, and active charting, right? So actively on the charts, you're watching your pairs day by day, right? Even if you're trading a demo account, it's fine. But there are goals that I would like to achieve with the members in the group, because I fully, believe in the system and strategy. And again, from my results, you could see that this does work. I mean, from the live stream itself should be justification as well. And just hoping to grow that community and getting the recognition of this strategy out there, that indeed it works. It's simple, and so let's see how that goes. And yes, good morning to you as well. So again, We are streaming for the London session, and we are just 2 minutes shy of London opening. So we're going to look at how GJ either pushes above or pushes down to either end here. So again, if it does push above here, there's a 1 hour EMA here. So I'm looking for the price to be pushed down here. But if it does push or get into this territory, so that's about how many pips above? About 9, 10 pips here. So I'm looking for potential continuation beyond this level to the top end here, right? So let's see how London opens here, and I will see. But I'm going to avoid anything close to where the price is right now, just because I don't want to be, I don't want it to be a fake out. So let's see. All right, so it is pushing. Now let me take a look at this smaller potential range here. 1450. So yeah, it's not really tradable. So I'm just gonna leave that out for now. And let's look at USD CAD here. So USD CAD is pushing up. No wick on the downside. So I'm gonna have to see how USD CAD develops here. But will GJ push down here past the zone here to get to down to this level? But there is a 1 hour EMA tap here. So will it come tap here and continue down? Or will it continue to push up? Right, but I don't want to take an immediate risk and set sell stops here or buy stops here. It's a little too risky just because of the opening volume. So let's see.